Okay, on today's video, I'm actually going to talk about banner ad making tools. Stuff like Bannersnack, Ad Layer, Banner Flow, and there's a few others out there that are trying to build off of each other's success, and a little market has been spun off for helping people make banner ads for PPC campaigns or whatever banner ad you want to call a banner ad campaign, wherever you're running banner ads to drive business or traffic to your site on the internet. And explain why these don't actually measure up the way that you might consider them if you're considering these tools for yourself right now. And just from the perspective of somebody, the top advertiser, PPC advertiser in the space that's seen campaigns work and not work. And with that, you know, I can explain what benefit they will bring, but also what the benefit they actually, well, harm they can bring your campaigns as well, or get in the way of actually making money, which is all that this is about, right? We're not doing charity here. So with that said, I'm also going to explain how you're going to be able to make money not using it, and then what the alternatives are as well, which I always usually do in my videos. So you come away from this video with actual actionable advice as to not just telling you what not to do, but what to do as well, and how that's actually going to make you money as well. And also, of course, save you money, because you don't need one of these tools. Technically, long term, it does cost more to do PPC right than what these tools try to make it out to be in terms of saving you money. I will admit that, but I'll also explain why saving money, at least in this particular regard, is not to your advantage. Let's just put it that way. So anyway, without getting into any more like hyperbole here, I'm going to go through. I have a short list of things that I want to cover on the software, what to do, what not to do, what are your alternatives, how that affects your results, all that stuff like I talked about, as I usually do in my videos. And then, so, you know, you're well informed about these tools in general, if you're considering them, if you're using them, not having results with them, want better results with them, so on and so forth. So anyway, the first thing on my list here, I have, first of all, what are these tools supposed to do, and what is the benefit to the user using these tools? Now, I kind of am generalizing here. You know, Bannersnack, Ad Layer, Banner Flow, they all are in, I'm just grouping them together. That's because, you know, for the purposes of this video, and the reason why you don't use these tools or shouldn't use these tools, according to my opinion, you know, understanding marketing thoroughly, and it can give you just the inside information, if you will. They all do the same thing. They're meant there to make it easy to make banner ads, because making banner ads is not easy. Of course, you say, but Corey, I can just hire a banner designer. The problem with hiring a freelance designer for banner ads is because nobody likes making banner ads as a designer. You're cramped in this teeny little box, and a designer, this is the first time saying this in my videos, designers are not marketing people. And people get confused by this all the time. They think, oh, what difference does it make? Landing page, you know, $3,000 for a landing page, get out of here. Okay, you could hire a designer who could technically make something that might look pretty, but the page is not going to convert and it's pointless. People who know how to sell and actually can design, those people are not only extremely rare, but they're extremely valuable, and they know what they're worth. And there's an insane demand for those people, because there's a hell of a lot of people who can design out there. There's not many who can design in a way that they understand consumer psychology and can work graphics design in with elements of psychology and sales, so that you have a package of something that's going to work. So anyway, you could hire a designer. First of all, most designers will make you a landing page. Most designers won't make you a banner ad because they are tedious to do. Let's just put it that way. And then even if you do find somebody, it's probably somebody who basically can't do much else. Well, I don't want to put everybody into a box, but from my experience over the last 15 years, that's what the reality is. And so you're going to get almost for sure somebody who doesn't understand marketing. And again, if you knew marketing, you would probably do landing pages. Now, if you could find somebody who could do a landing page and you get them to do a banner ad on the site, that's a different story. But of course, it'll be easy, but you're going to get somebody now that's unideal in terms of getting you make you sales from that banner ad. And there's a lot of small elements to the process of getting a banner ad to work that you simply aren't going to know until you've ran hundreds of banner ads. That's all I can simply say about it. It's just one of those things that looks simple on the outside. In reality, you try it and you realize it's not simple. You spend $5,000 on ads. What the heck? Why didn't I make any money? And then you have to start to defuse all that for yourself. You can avoid all that by taking a little bit of advice on this video. I'm not saying that arrogantly. I'm genuinely trying to help you so that you don't quit before you ultimately find a way to make it work for yourself. And the reason also why these tools exist, there's landing page tools that make it easy, drag and drop, to build a landing page for like a PPC campaign, like ClickFunnels, Unbounce. And so these banner ad tools, Bannersnack, AdLayer, whatever, they actually are taking the kind of same concept and try to help people make banner ads in the same kind of way, but also automating it even further to the point where you virtually have to do basically nothing to make an ad. The software does most of it for you. And there's also, of course, some more tools out there. I want to say there's between 5 to 10 different tools that do pretty much the same thing. I can't quantify for you which is better, which is not, because I don't use any of these tools, and I have the option to use the tools, and I don't use them, and I'm going to explain why next. So anyway, next on my list, why is using these tools not a great move as an advertiser, somebody who wants to make a profit in business? And this applies to all marketing tools, by the way. The landing page tools are good. They can help. We're humans. We're efficient through using tools. But when the tools cross the line, and when you're specifically talking about marketing to the point where it's like done for you, that's the point where you should really strongly question what you're doing. If something worked and were that easy, well, like a lot of things in life, it would be eventually become useful, meant to say useless on its own. In this life, right, if there's something easy to do and everybody knows about it, what does it become? Worthless, basically. Whatever benefit was there isn't there anymore. In marketing, it's extremely true. Whatever everybody's doing in marketing, just because you see your competitor doing it, doesn't mean you should do it, because most people just do what everybody else is doing. And the abnormal returns that's going to help you grow your business quickly is to figure out what users want, not what the competitor's doing. Of course, you could start with looking at the competitors, and then how can I deliver a better user experience than what even the competitor has? And that's the position you would be in, truly. But if it all was easy, then everybody was going to, through the word of mouth, that advertising, going to start to do it, and then suddenly everything becomes the same, which brings me into my next point. Good marketing, advertising always has an element of purple cow to it, and that purple cow is a reference to Seth Godin. He has a book called Purple Cow. I can't remember the exact title, but you could Google that. Essentially, what it is what you shouldn't be doing is trying to make a Me Too product and then advertising the crap out of it to try to make money. That's really hard to do nowadays anyway, with the leveling that the internet has done to most markets and so on and so forth. But along with that, there's also a specific reason why the purple cow, you should be working on adding the purple cow element to what you're doing, because most advertisers, which brings me into my next point, most advertisers, whether they realize it or not, do AIDA ad model of creating advertising, whether it's a banner ad or a radio ad or whatever. And that AIDA stands for attention, interest, desire, action. And so the first element in making an ad work then of that AIDA is attention. Your attention is not triggered when a design on an ad that technically will work for everybody. So what these softwares try to do is they would be better if they did like maybe a certain type of business, but because the ads have to work for everybody, they got to like round off the edges, and then ultimately what do you get? Some mediocre crap that isn't very good, and then most people start using it, so then what happens is you're not getting anybody's attention anymore because it looks like everything else out there. And then ultimately, what do you get from that? Banner blindness, which is a term derived from people. People, first of all, as you know, or should know by now, people hate banner advertising. They get ad blockers. Why? Because most banner ad advertising people do, they try to do this crap. Oh, why do we need to pay for banner ad advertising? Why do we need more than one banner? And then we'll spend that money on just pounding the advertising at people. And then people get really pissed off, and then they mentally just block it out. They see an ad, they block it out. Just like if you're doing getting junk mail, and you get your mail from your mailbox, what do? Junk. You don't even pay attention to that stuff because marketers have abused it. And the same thing's happening with the banner ads. How are you going to stand out? You do something that's completely different. If you're doing a direct mail campaign, that's getting a plain white envelope that looks like a personal correspondence, and then you put your stuff in there. That's going to get through the filter, the middle filter, banner blindness filter. To get through that, you need to be halfway unique in what you're doing, and you're not going to get it through a one size made for all tool. And the ads end up just looking also just boring, so they become similar to all other ads over time, and so people when they see the ad, they're trying to say, should I ignore this, should I not? And then when it looks similar to what they've seen a million times, whether it's for a different company or not, it makes it easier for them to put it in the junk pile and block it out. And then also, if it just doesn't look very exciting, they're not going to give a crap. You can get people to look at an ad if it looks engaging, but again, it's hard to do with these tools. And it's not the tool company's fault. They're just trying to make a software. But at the end of the day, they can't make it work without rounding off the edges. So anyway, with all that said, why does that stuff matter again? If people don't see my ad and they don't click on it, who cares, right? No. It matters everything, actually. The click-through rate that you have on your ad, based upon how novel and unique and engaging and entertaining it looks to initially get people's interest, will affect directly whether that ad is profitable or not. And that actually comes from the click-through rate, or rate people that see the ad that click on it, basically that times it's shown and then gets first noticed, which is the first part of the equation that you have to actually get a click. And then, of course, what's said on the ad gets the user to click. But if they don't, on 1,000 times, based upon how many people as a whole you get to click, will depend on how many users you get for your money. They call it pay-per-click advertising, PPC, but really it's pay per 1,000, because if your click-through rate on your ad's not good, basically all the advertising networks do, including Google, is raise what you're paying for a click, because if not, they could find somebody else that can they could put in your place that can get a higher click-through rate, and they're going to go with them. So they've actually made it available to all, and all they do is they just float your cost per click or cost per visitor you're paying on an ad up and down based upon how well that ad is set up and how well it can draw a click through. So in essence, the more clicks you can get, the more visitors you're going to get for the same money, and the more likely you're going to be able to spin off a profit, because it takes a certain amount of visitors based upon your landing page conversion rate to actually be profitable, to get that 8-to-1 return or whatever you're looking for. So how much is a difference in CPC, the cost, CPC / cost to get a visitor to your site matter based upon how many people are clicking on it as a whole? Well, if you get 1% of people to click through your ad on Google Ads, I'm just speaking here, generally speaking, you can get about a 10 cents per visitor cost per click rate. If it's 0.1%, so like 1 in 1,000 instead of 1 in 100, it'll be closer to $1 per click. So you want to pay 10 times as much having a crappy, boring ad versus something you spent time into. Now, do you think that makes a difference in how profitable the ad is? But on top of that, if you look at everybody else's ad and what everybody else is doing and say, well, they're not doing anything different, the average ad's only getting clicked through 0.25% of the time. So basically, if you just I'm routinely able to get something closer to 1%. If you actually spend some time into it, you could pay literally 25% the rate as your competitors are paying. And then ultimately, what you can do then is you can look at you can copy the competitors where they're targeting their ads if they're good, of course. But again, you can't always just copy it blindly because they may not be doing it right. A lot of people don't set up tracking. They don't know that their campaigns are not working. Their agencies are trying to hide stuff. Therefore, you can't copy stuff blindly. But if customers are coming from a certain area, you now come in with a better ad. Guess who wins that formula? You start to get the ad algorithm that Google has will start to favor your ad because they favor ads as well on how good a user experience your ad plays. So people inherently over time stop being so pissed off at ads. Your ad gets shown more to those customers. You're getting them cheaper than your competitor. It all then works out to be able to get you the return. So with that said, there's no panacea and a tool that's going to be able to just cough up or pound out advertising for you, banner advertising for you. If you want the good returns, you actually got to put some effort in. You got to figure out how to put out an ad that incorporates some intelligence into it, however that's done. Keep in mind what your offer is and how targeted it and how you're targeting it still is everything. Just making ads is only one element to a successful campaign. So going back to what I was saying before, of course, the first thing you have to do is get someone's attention and interest. Otherwise, you're not going to get anywhere. But once you have it, that offer that's on the ad that's going to create your desire part of the equation, you got to have something on there that's decently good. And then part of what makes that offer good is it's relevant to the user. So that's where the targeting also blends in or comes a part of this. So usually people just say, I'm going to target people 45 to 65, and then my banner ad is just for them and that's it. No, what you should do is figure out of all the people you can target, can I target people who are specifically looking for information in my space and then offer them information? Or can I target people who have been to the shopping cart but did not purchase with language on my offer that says if they check out through the cart now, we're going to give them a small benefit to do that. And so your uptake rate on the ad, because it's actually relevant to what that person's needs at the time, goes way, way up. And of course you get more people to check out through the cart in that case, and so on and so forth. But then you get the general idea, I think. The way that I make my banner ads is I'm going to do just two basic things at a very high level. I'll explain this. You'll look at other winning ads and borrow elements from them. So it's hard a lot of times you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can go to moat.com and just type in, it doesn't even have to be in your industry. Find some different ads for bigger companies that do have the money to hire an excellent designer to make the banner ad, and at least so that the layout is done halfway right. In terms of, there's a thing called iFlow. You got to be able to have the user see what they need to see and in what order, so that the AIDA model falls into place, and it has to look credible, and so on and so forth. There's a bunch of stuff there. But if you see an ad, inherently most people know when they see an ad, they can tell if that's engaging or not. So you could just find different ads people have done there. Moat.com is free. And then just use the framework of that ad and the layout that's been thoroughly thought through already for you, and that shortcuts your process to put together an ad for your company. A lot of times in your industry, there just won't be very good ads. Therefore, that's why I mentioned usually can go outside your industry. The closer to it as you can, probably the better. Like if you're in finance, maybe start with finance, but you don't even have to do that. And so, but within that, you have to figure out, you're going to make that an ad. You're not going to just go and make an ad for, I need new customers, I'm making a banner ad, I'm done here. I need to target it at a general demographic and I'm done. No. Like I said before, I'm going to make a custom audience just for that ad. So in other words, before I even make the ad, I'm going to identify who should be seeing that ad. I'll do things like I'll make what it's called a custom intent audience set up on Google Ads and on Google's display network. I can specify to Google if somebody's been to my competitor site by typing in their brand name, trade name, product names, domain names into a custom audience list and then make that a single list. I can identify then to Google or specify to Google anybody who's been on my competitor's site or typed it in the last 30 days, I want them to see this banner ad. Okay? And it can be done competitor by competitor. So if you have one competitor and you know you do one thing better than that competitor, you can break it down and say exactly what you offer that other people that use your competitor now are frustrated by on that banner ad. So you can see how much of a difference that would make to get somebody to actually get to your site that was considering a competitor that would be a great customer for you versus just having some generic offer for them. I mentioned cart abandonment ads. That's something I use on pretty much any e-commerce campaign. If you already have customers and people need to reorder what you have, I'm routinely using ads to get people to reorder stuff. We're having a August sale, 10% off everything in store, as long as you spend over $300. And you're targeting that to anybody who's made either one or more than one, because you could specify either purchases in the past. And you can set that custom audience like that up through Google Analytics, and then you import that audience into your Google Ads account. And so in that case, and then my ad will say customer loyalty sale. We're going to use what we know about the audience now to get the user's attention. And that's where, so you got to have a good engaging looking ad. That's the first element to get your ad read. And then when they get to the point where like, oh, okay, I'll give them a second to read the ad. Now you're not wasting their time and you actually have a good ad for them to read. Customer appreciation sale. Reorder the book, if you print books, this is one I've done in the past. If you print books, you need books that you sell books. Basically, you go to a book printer, reorder your books. This month we'll give you an extra 10% off your order, something like that, and that pushes through a lot of orders that just simply wouldn't happened because what you're always trying to do is prevent people from going to somebody else. And so if you're pushing people and getting and then a lot of times people just delay their purchases. So people think, oh, that's just going to pull forward demand. No, it's not. You're going to get more overall orders by being proactive with it's just like email marketing. So if you had that argument, email marketing would be pointless then, which people do their email remarketing because it's free, but the same thing can be done as what people do with drip email campaigns with remarketing, banner ad campaigns on Google. But of course, there's other things that you can do to drive new customers in. I mentioned you can do an ad for every competitor that you have and to get people who is already considering the competitor to your site. There's, of course, other things you can do. You could target an individual site. You could say, people who do this, have this, interested in this, can get this. And, it could be XYZ forum readers. We have a special offer for you. So you get the general idea. Everything, I don't do a whole lot of that specific offer just for general disclaimer, but and I could go on for a while here about different things you could do. This is about explaining how you should be thinking, how to come up with an audience in mind in terms of the target, come up with an offer for them, and then put that into the ad and make sure the ad looks engaging so it gets read. And then, of course, if you can, send people to an appropriate page of your site, not just your homepage, a landing page just for that offer, which takes it the rest of the way. That's going to get you as high as possible chance to get the ad to work or not. If you have an ads right now that kind of work, this will take it off the charts. If you couldn't get your ads to work at all before and you gave up, this is how you spring life into them. This will, the difference between getting your average banner ad that targets a general audience with this, it's like literally 20 to 30 times difference to have something as targeted as I mentioned here. So if you're making any sales at all the other way, this is going to be what you just ultimately naturally want to do for yourself, because after a while it'll get profitable. You'll identify what you're willing to pay for that traffic. You'll dial that in, and then it makes money forever after that, years and years after pretty much, because it's not something you can easily copy. Of course, once it's working, you can also start to scale that up and run big budgets, hundreds, thousands of dollars a day even on that ad that now you just had a really good ad. This works and just works and works and works after that. It's a lot of effort up front to get it to work, but then after that, it's pretty much automated income. So instead of automating the ad, put work in on the ad, and then from there you have automated income, versus trying to be cutting corners up front, which is what a lot of people want to do to make money. But anything that's easy, there was no opportunity in it, and that's just true in life, and especially with this. But everything is about trying to get that click-through rate up closer to 1%, so you can pay the 10 cents per click. And for most products and services out there at 10 cents per click, you can make your ads work. So that's generally my target there. And if it's not 1% yet, the ad can be made better. And if it's still not at 1% yet, you could sub-segment your audience that you're trying to target and have an ad for just one set of the audience, another for another set, which on other occasions I even had one ad for male versus female and having different pictures on there, and that boosted click-through. And I'll just keep segmenting like that until I got my 1% basically virtually. So it sounds like a lot of work. It's not that big a deal. It's just finding an audience, finding an offer, working with the right person to make the ad so that it ends up has the right eye flow, and then you're done. So just puts a little bit more effort than, most of your competitors are not putting that effort in. You put it in, you're going to basically automatically win. You can, in PPC, if you want to win for sure, all you got to do is just put more effort in on your campaigns than them, you'll win. It's really that simple. So are you going to be the one in your space that does it, or you're not, basically. So anyway, hopefully that made sense, and why you should, for the most part, make your own ads instead of using a banner ad tool that pumps out ads for you. If you like this video, I have a lot of other strategies that actually have money-making PPC strategies on this channel. You should check those out. I also have step-by-step instructions on how to build winning PPC campaigns that make money that I use to guarantee our clients' results. That's on guaranteeppc.com/blog if you want to check that out as well. But you think I should have covered something here that I didn't, or have a question, leave me a comment down below. I get back to every person that leaves me a comment on this channel personally. Apart from that, I hope you enjoyed the video and hope I inspired you to take an extra, a little bit of effort on your banner campaign so they actually for sure do work the way that you want and are really